The term close reading is being used a lot more these days, and it's because of the Common Core. There's a real shift with the Common Core away from trying to talk about the child's experiences or the teacher's purposes or a dozen other things, but to really put the focus on interpreting the text and thinking about the text. So it's really the author's words that matter most in reading within the Common Core, and that'll be a shift for some teachers. Now the emphasis is really shifting, and it's, bring the attention to the text as quickly as possible and focus the students on figuring certain things out about the text. Because of the nature of close reading, one of the things that you'd expect to see more of is rereading. So you might read a text and then read it again to see if you can figure out more information about it. I think some teachers have students read a text more than once now, but it's more for practice. The idea of close reading would be that as you read it multiple times, you would be figuring out more and deeper information each time. So, let's imagine that you had the students read the text 3 times, which would be a huge amount in today's classrooms. They'd read the text maybe the first time just to figure out what the author was saying. Could you retell it? Could you answer simple questions about it? A second time, maybe they would read, and they still might pick up some details about what the author was saying. But the second time maybe would be a reading to try to figure out how was the text working, how was it organized? Why did the author make certain choices of words? Why did they leave out other words, and so on? Why did they tell you in the order that they told you? And trying to understand the craft a bit more, and maybe where the author was coming from. Maybe a third reading, and again, you could still be figuring out things, what it said still and how it was working. But a third time might be more of a, let's really think about what this text means to us. Let's try to, how would we value this? How does it connect up with other texts that we've read? Is it similar? Is it different? Does this author have a different point of view than some other author? Those types of things. And so in a close reading, that rereading becomes very, very important, but not as a practice kind of thing, but much more as an attempt to get more and more information out of the text. But the new standards, the real emphasis is on, can students come away with coherent understandings of what they've read and how those texts work and how those texts connect with other texts, with the idea that the more of that students know, the better able to take on new texts they're going to be. And so it really is a very sensible kind of a shift, but what it means is that teachers have to make sure that when students walk away from that reading group, they actually know what that article was about, or that they really understood that story and could write about it or talk about it. In the past, we'd sort of read it and be done with it and forget about it. That's really off the table. We want that knowledge to go into students' memory, that they can use it as they go forward to take on new texts.